Joining us now is Dr. Peter McCullough. Not only is he the Chief Scientific Officer of the Wellness Company and a tireless advocate of medical freedom in the U.S., but he's also the co-author of a brand new book called Vaccines, Mythology, Ideology, and Reality. Welcome to the show, Dr. Peter McCullough.
Thank you.
I guess suffice it to say, we're probably not getting the mRNA jabs pulled from the market if the Trump FDA is now approving a new COVID jab from Moderna for children. Can we lose all hope now?
This is a stunning development, a complete lapse. People are calling for FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary. They're calling for him to resign because this, essentially a rubber stamp approval of yet another booster for children is, not been demonstrated to be safe, effective. It's not clinically necessary or medically indicated to give children COVID-19 vaccines. Remember, if the vaccines worked theoretically and if they were safe, the only population at this juncture that would be nursing home residents and elderly. There's no mention of the vulnerable population. There's discussion about children down to age 6 months old. Now, the provision is that it would be children who have baseline medical conditions. We know from USA Facts, which uses CDC data, only 2.5% of children under age 2 were ever fully vaccinated. So I imagine the vast majority of these Moderna vaccines will be purchased and then they'll be discarded, unused, because parents now understand they're not safe.
Well, let's hope, right? Let's hope that parents make the right choice, because obviously our public health officials who we thought were going to, pull the jabs or, exhibit some kind of better scientific, advice than the previous administrations, are letting us down. So that is encouraging. I mean, I guess Big Pharma still makes their money, right? But at least parents wouldn't be giving these jabs to the children.
That's right. Now, remember, some schools can still require it. We know that public schools can no longer mandate COVID-19 vaccines, but private schools can. And that's where patients are and mothers and fathers are caught in a bind, because they know the COVID-19 vaccines can result in immediate death, heart damage, blood clots, neurologic injury. It's catastrophic, the injuries that we're seeing among children. Virtually every child in America has had COVID-19. They have natural immunity. Nobody's worried about the infection anymore. People are deadly afraid of these vaccines.
I do find it odd, Dr. McCullough, that this announcement is made while RFK Jr. is on vacation in Greece, I believe. I don't know if he's returned by now, but he was at least earlier in the week. He was on vacation in Greece. This seems to me as if this would have been an announcement that, given the public interest, particularly the interest of the people who put these people in power, that this is an announcement that you would have made with RFK there so questions could be asked and he could defend the position of his FDA and his FDA administrator.
RFK is not a doctor. I think that's the great shortcoming of the HHS secretary position. Now is the time we really need a senior doctor, someone who would be certainly more senior to Makary, who's a surgeon who doesn't have any medical experience, to basically tell him, listen, this is not going to fly. We shouldn't have any more boosters approved for children. They are simply not safe, not effective, not necessary. And that would end it. But Kennedy is, not a doctor. He's a lawyer, and I think he's easily outgunned by doctors.
Okay, I agree. I want to get to the ideology behind this, because I actually was not completely caught off guard by this decision, and I'll tell you why. Because I've been having a lot of conversations with people, different people in the public health agencies, and it had already become clear to me that Dr. Makary has faith in vaccines, okay? and even the COVID vaccine. His concern, based on conversations I have had, is that immunocompromised children, say for instance, kids with cancer, wouldn't be able to get the COVID jab if, say, the EUA was ended. I had already heard he felt this way. And then lo and behold, he gives approval to another quote unquote COVID vaccine for children. He has seen, and I had thought leading into the administration, at least during the campaign, that Dr. Macri understood how detrimental they were to people of any age, to their health. But obviously that's not how he truly feels. He believes in them, it seems to me. And it gets back to, I was talking to someone has a daughter in the medical field, and they don't believe in that. They believe that the COVID jabs are deadly, this person. And they said that they can't convince their daughter, even though she's so smart, it is so indoctrinated in her and so ingrained from the medical education that she received and then the institution as a whole, that she seems to not be able to break out of that. Even when presented with solid evidence, she just can't break out of it. And that gets to the book that you and John Leake have written about this mythology, the ideology behind it. So could you just speak to that a bit? Because this is really what we're up against, Dr. McCullough.
We reviewed hundreds of years of history, and we've carefully referenced this going, way back to variolation. That was a form of smallpox vaccination even before Edward Jenner had started to work with the cowpox, moving into the diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, MMR, and into the current age. And what we've tapped into is a deeply held religious belief that doctors and the medical establishment, public health agencies have in vaccines. And even if there are serious side effects, that they essentially are overlooked because of the zealotry around vaccines. Vaccine ideology says that through the brilliance of mankind, that vaccinologists can improve upon God's creation. It's the ultimate hubris through vaccination. But because vaccines are not perfect, everyone must take them. And if some are injured, or sadly, if some died by taking the vaccine, they essentially, that has to be accepted for the greater good. And we saw examples of this, by the way, of children dying of royalty in England due to the vaccines, and the royalty still pushing vaccines on the public. This has been happening for years. Everyone installed right now in the new administration seems to be under the trance of vaccine ideology.
I agree with you. Now, I wouldn't have said that at the start of the administration, but now we're several months in, and based on their actions and based on conversations I've had, I believe you're absolutely right. How do we break this trance?
It's not based on science or logic. That's the reason why there's no investigations, no data review. It's almost as if someone needs to themselves suffer an injury or a loved one and then recognize it. And even when it happens, many don't break out of the trance, like Buffalo Bill Damar Hamlin, or Jamie Foxx, or Bruce Arians, Kirk Herbstreit. We can go on and on of the public figures who, apparently have suffered catastrophic vaccine reactions. And someone like Steve Kirsch or Eric Clapton, they tend to be the exceptions, where they wake up and they realize, oh my gosh, the vaccines aren't safe.
Unfortunately, you're right. I would offer that all these public health officials probably do have a loved one, or at least someone in their close sphere of influence who have been injured, because I don't know anyone who hasn't. I have yet to meet a person who hasn't known someone that's had some kind of effect, and whether they say, well, overall it's for the best, so they'll accept it. There's no denying that they know someone who's been injured or died from it. The silver lining here, though, is the now public awareness that you've noted, particularly parents. Numbers do show that pediatricians are ordering vaccines in general at a lower amount than they did historically. So they're just not keeping as many on hand, which suggests that parents are waking up. I think, again, it's going to be the parents who save us, as it was, post COVID restrictions and in some of the elections and the school board races. It's going to be the parents, particularly the moms.
I agree. A recent paper by Mawson demonstrated that 10% of Florida Medicaid recipients, the children, have 0 visits for vaccines, 0. And they have much lower rates of neuropsychiatric disorders. And multiple studies now show the completely unvaccinated healthy child grows up healthier than their fully vaccinated counterparts. So I think the World Council for Health is right. They are currently advising a wait and see approach now, foregoing all the routine childhood vaccines until we have more data on safety, particularly when they're administered all together.
Well, a disappointing week. I think Secretary Kennedy has a lot to answer for when he is back in the saddle, once he gets a little R&R, apparently. He has to answer for this, because this is not what we were promised. In the meantime, you and our audience can go get the new book, Vaccines, Mythology, Ideology, and Reality by Dr. Peter McCullough and his colleague, John Link. So thanks so much for joining us with this breaking news today, Dr. McCullough.
Thank you.